Hi there, my name is Laura Parker and I currently live in Colorado. And I just wanted to take a second to introduce myself to you personally if you're interested in having me come and speak to your church group or your women's group. I can speak to both secular and Christian audiences. And I just wanted to give you a quick overview of some of the things that I typically speak about. The first thing people usually ask me to speak about is social justice and God's heart for the poor. And I draw on my experiences living overseas in Southeast Asia and draw on my experiences working with fighting sexual slavery over there and here in the States. And so I do a whole talk about God's heart for the world and how we can practically bring justice to the people around us and to the global poor and impoverished as well. So I talk about that. The second thing I typically talk about specifically is human trafficking. It is a major social justice issue of our day, and we help run. My husband began, and then we both work together to help lead the Exodus Road, which is a coalition of investigators, undercover investigators, all over the world that find and help local police, rescue sex slaves. A lot of them are minors. At the time of I'm speaking this in the last 11 months, this is July 2013. In the last 11 months, we've supported the rescues of 189 victims. And we began the Exodus Road out of our own experiences doing undercover work in brothels when we lived in Southeast Asia. So I can speak to that if your group would like to hear some kind of firsthand accounts of human trafficking, then I can share that. And I have a lot of stories for that. The third thing that people typically ask me to speak on is what it means to live a good story. And I can do this as a one-session thing, or it also makes for a great multi-session retreat. And I talk here, I do a lot of listening prayer and a lot of life mapping, and we talk about what it means to look back at our past story and what God could be doing in that, and what messages and what themes are in our story. And then we kind of assess where we are today in our story, and then we look towards the future and we look at how we can engage in a good story and a bigger story, and how we can kind of get the $30,000 foot view, mile high view of what our story is and what God could be up to. So we could talk about that too. That makes for a great retreat, living a good story. Very personal. And then the fourth thing that I typically speak on is a talk that I do called Stepping into the Arena, pushing through fear, risk, and failure, and using my own life examples and drawing a lot on what it meant to send my husband into brothels. I talk about what it means to step into the arena of bringing the kingdom of God to earth, and what it means to partner with God to do brave, terrifying things in our lives, and what it means to see God show up and redeem our efforts. So I also can talk about that. I can also speak to missions. I can speak to what it means to encourage your missionaries, encourage your international aid workers. I can also talk to that too, as I run a blog specifically for Christian humanitarian aid workers. So those are some topics that I typically speak of. I am fairly flexible. If you have something that you'd like me to touch on, whether it be marriage or family or something else, I would love to speak with you about that. Feel free to message me. Feel free to take some time to look around my blog and kind of see my writing and see some of my past videos. You could also check out our work at the Exodus Road, theexodusroad.com. I do most of the writing there as well. I have a book that will be out in August called The Exodus Road, and it really chronicles our own journey in Southeast Asia, sending my husband into brothels, and the beginning of the Exodus Road too. So feel free to check that out as well. And yeah, just email me and let me know if you're interested, and we can begin a conversation. Thanks so much.